So in the book that we just read appears a quote from McLuhan that says, "In the long run, a medium's content matters less than the medium itself in influencing how we think and act." So we think that technology is not what matters. It matters the way we use it. But the reality is that we cannot escape technology. So the internet has completely changed the way we pay attention. It has become increasingly difficult to maintain our attention as the internet has accustomed us to being constantly bombarded with stimuli. So I'm going to talk about very briefly about the differences between reading a book and reading a web. So when we read a web and a book, different patterns of brain activity appear. So when we read a book, we have a lot of activity in regions associated with language, memory, and visual processing, while when we read a web, we have this activity in prefrontal regions which are associated with decision making and problem solving.
So I'm going to talk about the key points of the book. First, this explores the impact of the internet on the way we think and process information, as Marina said. The distractions and interruptions online have led to a decline in deep, focused reading and contemplative thinking. Also explores the concepts of neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to reorganize itself in response to experience. Also, he talks about the impact on memory and how the internet has accessibility to vast amounts of information and how that can affect our memory. We become more accustomed to simply looking up quick facts when needed instead of information too long and heavy. He also, the author, encouraged a balanced approach, suggesting that individuals need to be mindful of how they use technology and make deliberate efforts to engage with the internet.
The reading discusses how the use of computers and new media forms changes the way that we process information and perceive what the media is telling us in new ways. And this is very similar to our lecture over cultural studies and audience studies, where we talked about Lacan and Foucault and how they studied the relationship between the meaning of the text and the formation of that meaning, and how influences on the audience can affect how audiences perceive information. And the same theme is held between the reading and these theories.
So, the use of the internet is affecting the way we think, and I'm making reference to Nicholas Care's idea of superficiality of attention and to thought fermentation. So, in this current context, many people spend most of the day on smartphones or tablets, frequently browsing news, social media, and other online information. So individuals are basically jumping from one app to another, quickly reading short fragments of information instead of devoting time to deep reading and critical reflection. So the ease of access, instant information, as highlighted by Carr, could affect our ability to understand complex topics. For example, the focus is often on images and short messages rather than longer and deeper text nowadays.
As my colleagues have said, the new technologies have influenced our perception of information, our concentration, our memory. And another example I could give related to what Gabriel said could be the use of AI, something very present for students and for young people today. The use of ChatGPT for any doubts and the completion of assignments, whether at university, at school, at home, and everywhere. And nowadays, we no longer look carefully for information in books, nor are we even interested in learning it, since we go to the internet to save time and spend minimal effort on it. And thanks to this, we don't pay attention or do deep readings on topics that could benefit our culture or our knowledge. Instead, we are promoting the loss of our cognitive abilities.